This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today, it's all about your own fortune. But see, you need to conspire with other people as well. See, we all invested into this big pot, and it's accruing a lot of interest, but at the end, the only person that gets this money is the last person standing. So you're going to be killing off other people, shooting them down, doing different things, trying to be the last one standing. In fact, you're trying to be dead last. This is a social collusion game for 6 to 12 players. Takes about 30 to 45 minutes to play. Let me show you how it's played. At the beginning of the game, each player is going to pick one of these 12 colors, take the entire deck of cards of that color. Each player takes the color name and puts it on their standee and in front of them so everybody can see which player you are. Now normally this would be spread out a lot more, but to try to fit everything in one frame, this is what we're doing. There is a stack of gold. What you're trying to do is, this game is multiple rounds long. At the end of the round, whoever's the last one standing, those player or players will be able to split 4 gold. These golds range from 3 to 5. You're trying to get points to win the game. In each round, everyone, now these standees would typically be standing up, and this would be much more spread out. But here we have which players they are and their cards. For about a minute to a minute and a half, all these players are going to be making clues, talking out loud, making secret signs to try to figure out who's the person that we want to kill this round. Well, they could be, pointing under the table, glancing in someone's direction, calling someone out. You can even flash some of your voting cards at people. You could be very covert if you want, but you can also be very overt in telling people what to do. But you want to be careful because you don't want it to be too obvious. At the end of the round, right around a minute to a minute and a half, the owner of the game will say, okay, final vote's in. Everybody will take their cards and they will place one of their cards in front of them. The rest of the cards will be gone. For this example, I'm just going to use the top card as their vote, but normally there would just be one card in front of them. We would then flip all those over. So again, here are the standees of the cards, and here's the people they voted for. I know it's a lot of colors, but now normally these would be standing as well. We look at who has the most votes. Yellow, 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 yellow. There are 4 votes for yellow, 2 for teal, and blue wanted to kill emerald, and emerald wanted to kill blue. I don't know what's going on where those guys don't like each other. So if yellow was killed, so first of all, now these would normally be standing. Yellow would flip their guy down as he's dead, but in this case, I'm just going to remove them. Now, whoever didn't vote for yellow, whoever was not part of majority, would also be removed. This person voted for teal, so purple is gone. This player voted for emerald, this player voted for blue. So these two players are gone. So only the players playing yellow are left, and then this would continue towards the next round. So here's the 4 that are left in the next round. The other ones are out. And so let's say these 4 did their thing for a minute to a minute and a half, and it was time to vote. So let's say the voting was done. These 3 players all voted for orange. But orange had a feeling everyone was against him, so he played his own ambush card. Every player has an ambush card of their own color. If you think you're the one targeted and you were a target, meaning you were at least tied for the most votes, this player stays alive and he gets to kill one of the players that voted for him. So he says, you know what, red, you are gone, and this player lives. Now, if this player did not have at least tied for the most targets, then this player would actually be out for playing the ambush, so it's a little bit risky. But what if there was a tie? Let's say orange and black voted for teal to die, and red and teal voted for black to die. If there's a tie, they are both considered targets. In this case, both teal and black. So both of them would be gone, and anybody who wasn't part of the voting for either one of those would also be gone. So in case, like if purple was in the game and they had not voted for them, maybe they voted for red, they would be out as well. And in this case, these 2 would be out, and there would only be 2 left. This still continues pretty much all the way down until there's only 1 player left or 2 players left. In this case, there would have been 2 players left, red and orange. Now, if you were lucky enough to be the only one here, you essentially would get the 4 gold cards that are for this round. But if there's 2, then you're going to go to a final showdown. By the way, these cards range from 3 to 5, with 4 being the most cards, and then 3, and then 5. When this happens, both players are going to get 3 cards. They're going to get a grab one and go, a steal, and a share card. They will secretly select one of these cards and they will place it down in front of them. Now, depending on which cards they've selected, something is going to happen. Now, if they both selected share, hey, they each played nice, they each get 2 bars. If one played steal and the other one played share, there'd be 4 bars for the stealer. If both played steal, 1 bar to everyone else. If one says grab one and go, the other one says steal, well, the steal gets 3 and the grab one and go gets 1. Same thing, grab one and go and share, the share gets 3 and the grab one and one gets 1. If they both said grab one, they each only get 1, 2 are left over for the next round, but there's still only 4 each round. So that's how the loot would get spread. After that gold was given, you would set up an entire new round with everybody being in it. And at any time, and now these are secret once people get these gold cards, but at the end of a round, when somebody has 24 or 25 points of gold, depending on how many players are in the game, they would flip it over and show that they have won. Now, the social deduction style games are ones that I love quite a bit. I have a ton of them in my collection. But right now it's a tough time for that genre because it's very crowded and there's always new games coming out, and it's really hard to distinguish yourself different from the other types of games. I think this game does that. It's quite unique. This whole idea of this social collusion game where nobody's a traitor, but nobody's an ally, but you can change on a dime at any instant in the game, and I really like that aspect of it. I like that it plays a large round of players, so 6 to 12, and it plays good in that range there, and it's pretty easy to play. I mean, it's a party game. It's essentially super simple. So here's the things I liked about it. I love the artwork style. It's sort of like that Reservoir Dogs looking style, because that's essentially what you're doing, you know. I like the aspect that you're trying to get other people to kill the person you want, but you're also trying to figure out who is everybody else saying, because you need to be the majority. That's such a cool thing in this, where it's like, hey, what's going on here? Can you get with the majority? And it's really cool when you flip over all the cards, like, oh man, I missed that signal, or you're looking around and you're not seeing a lot of signals and you're going, if I'm not seeing signals, it's probably pointed at me. Maybe I should put my ambush card down. And then you throw your ambush card down and boom, nope, you weren't the majority one being voted on to be killed, and now you're dead, you just killed yourself. And you're like, oh man, I totally missed it. It's a lot of fun. It's super quick. This whole idea of having a minute or a minute and a half of sort of colluding with everybody is cool. In fact, we ran the timer for a minute, and quite often, even with the smaller player counts, 6 or 7 or so, you probably won't even need the timer. You'll finish pretty quickly anyways. And then when it gets down to 2, I really love that whole head game of, what are we going to do? Let's talk about it. Well, let's share. Okay, let's share. And almost always, it's never a double share. It's one time we said, yeah, let's share. We both double stealed, which meant we didn't get any money. Everybody else got some money because we were being too greedy. I love that aspect of that showdown. It brings up some of the sort of stand up or laugh about moments that stick with you after the game's over. This game itself came to me as sort of a cross between Cash and Guns, the second edition, and this party game called Wink, where you're trying to wink at people to let them know that you have their card, but you don't want anybody else to see you. And then, obviously the Cash and Guns, just eliminating players by pointing or voting for people to die, things like that. If you're taking the Cash and Guns idea and kind of just streamlined it down to its most just smallest form with no additional rules, and then you add that little wink ability, that's sort of what this is. And I like that. The rule set is so simple. Literally, the whole game is played above the table. After that, you're putting a card down. Let's see who gets removed. It's a lot of guessing, a lot of bluffing, a lot of colluding. I like that you can do anything. In the rules, it says you can do anything. Text, talk about someone when they leave the room, anything. I love it. This is such a good, unique game. I'm going to be trying to bring this to a lot of conventions and play this with big groups, because I think this is a really excellent game, a nice new twist to the genre, and for that reason, I am inducting it into my library with a saxophone serenade. But this time, I'm doing it a little bit differently. I'm going to have my sort of imaginary transparent piano player friend playing alongside me. Here we go.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for backing me on Kickstarter, making this season become a reality. I'd like to especially thank those here that have backed me at the credit level. Now, these video reviews are also available by audio on our podcast. It's the intros and the final thoughts on GameBoyGeek.com. Click podcast.